Hey, what up? It's Slacker Scott,
Not lazy, not cheap, efficient, and thrifty.
and this is my newest project. It is a tiny house built on a 4x8 Harbor Freight trailer. One of the most infamous trailers, beloved by many, hated by many as well. There's going to be a lot of light in here. This whole thing will be a window swivel right here. And then underneath the sleeping loft and up top, there's gonna be a big window as well, just to let the most possible light in. In response to my last video with my tour of my house that I live in, the Slacker 27 Special, which you can see over my shoulder, I got a lot of responses about how 27 grand to build that whole thing is amazing and such a good stretch to the dollar. And then I got a lot of other responses that were like, I could never afford 27 grand. And so I started thinking, like, what is the most accessible, inexpensive tiny house that I could build that would be movable. Here we're going to have the kitchen area come out. It's going to be about 4 feet of counter space. Have a burner, a sink, and then shelves all the way up. So the tiny house is framed out, and including the time it took to assemble the trailer, I've been at it for exactly 12 and a half hours. So this here will be an entry door. It's going to have a lot of glass so you can see out, so it feels more open than the small space that it is. One of the reasons I chose the Harbor Freight 4x8 trailer is that it's definitely one of the most inexpensive trailers around. And that makes it very accessible from a price standpoint. I was looking at other trailers. They were at least $300, $400, $500 more, and maybe only like 300 more pounds in weight capacity that they could hold. This up here is going to be the sleeping loft. It's made for a full-size bed. And it's cantilevered 2 feet out the back there. It's the right amount of space where you'll be able to sit up against the wall and enjoy, looking out through the windows that are going to be on the opposite side, and to be able just to have a good spot in bed to hang out. You might be noticing that the trailer is bigger than 4x8, and right now the dimensions of it, including the sleeping loft, is 6x13. So what I did was I went ahead and cantilevered off the edges of the sides of the trailer, a foot on each side, and then I also built out onto the tongue 3 feet, and then I cantilevered this back sleeping loft 2 feet, just to make the most out of the footprint. Most of the roof panels are going to be corrugated metal, but a couple of them are going to be transparent so that it lets light in from the top and lets even more light into the space. When I talk about accessibility, there's a couple different things that come into play. One of the things about accessibility is price. The other one is design and livability. If you can't live in it and be happy and healthy, if it doesn't support your mental health, your physical health, like your lifestyle, then it's not accessible because it's not long-term. It's going to be a waste of money. And so design's another really important part of accessibility. Behind this wall in this back corner here, there's going to be a small 32 by 32 shower. Against the wall right here is going to be a really small sink, the mirror, and then in the corner there is going to be your toilet. And then the entryway to that is going to be right around here, 2 feet entryway into your bathroom space. And so I wanted to make sure to design something that would work, and this is one of the smallest footprints I could think of to get a bed, a couch, a kitchen, a shower, a toilet, a kitchen sink, a bathroom sink, all of that into one space. And so I'm excited to show it to you guys and take you along on the journey. I think that having a couch in a tiny house is a really big deal. And so underneath the sleeping loft right here, we're going to be putting a chair and a half, aka a cuddler, something that's bigger than a single chair but smaller than a love seat, so you can cuddle up with someone on it and you have enough space, but also it's not going to take up too much of the space here. You might see the front of the trailer and think to yourself, how in the world are you going to tow this? And the roundabout answer is, I'm not really going to tow it. It's on wheels, so it's still going to be movable. You can use a tractor, you could use a truck. I was thinking about another factor of accessibility of tiny houses, and that is transporting them. It's expensive to buy a truck and own a truck. And so I went and looked at U-Haul, and U-Haul has, regular, the box trucks so you can use to move stuff. And they also have, car carrying trailers. And the idea is that if you do not own a truck, you will be able to load your tiny house trailer onto another trailer to transport it. So it's still portable. You can still move it into position on the land that you want. And so we're kind of going to have a little bit of a Russian nesting doll situation where it's trailer on top of trailer. And maybe to be cute, we'll buy a toy trailer and put it on top of that trailer. Who knows? But that is the idea behind the Slacker Super Single. A tiny house designed for one person to live in very comfortably. Maybe two, but that feels like it'd be a push. In this back corner here, we're gonna have a wardrobe, bookcase, all that kind of stuff to, make storage happen. And then against the wall here is going to be the little ladder to help get yourself into bed. Thank you so much for watching and starting this Slacker Super Single tiny house on a Harbor Freight trailer journey with me. Feel free to leave any questions down in the comments. If you're pro or against Harbor Freight trailers, you can mention it there if you want to. Just be moderately polite. Hopefully at the end of this, we will have one of the most accessible tiny houses that you could live in to change up your life. See you next time.